omnipresent. He know everything. He is everywhere. He not gonna let everybody know what's going on. They gonna be hearing what's going on, but they not really gonna know. See, hearing is one thing. Now look at verse 18 of 1 Peter 4 and 18. It say, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, so they gonna be scarcely being saved. All heck is gonna break loose in America and all over the world, and they gonna be scarcely being saved. It says, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? See, if he barely coming down here to save his people, what in the world? You been disobedient. You want to drink liquor all day. You want to smoke every drug moving. You want to do every wicked abomination under the sun. He gonna come save you for what? Why am I saving you? You obviously hate every law and rule I gave you. So why am I gonna come save you, man? It says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved. Now that righteous goes into one people. Only one people was given the law. So only them, that one people, is going to be able to be righteous. Because look at Deuteronomy 6 and 25. It says, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all the commandments before the Lord our God, as he has commanded us. So righteousness is the following that law that God gave to our forefathers. That's righteousness. These other nations wasn't given the law. Let's get that. They cannot be righteous, so they is not going to be a part of our salvation. They do not need salvation. They have militaries to keep them out of trouble. See, they military is protecting them. We don't have a military. We can't call our top general. Hey, we got the top. I want the top general for the Negroes in the projects. Can I get the top general for the Hispanics down there in South America? Can I get the top general for the military of the Native Americans on the reservation? See, we don't have a top general fighting for our nation. We under our oppressors. We under our slave master. See, we don't have people that we can call if we're in trouble. If they slaughtering us down in the street, we have no one to call. Only person you gonna call is the man upstairs. See, but a Negro think they free. Oh, I'm free, man. What you talking about? Well, call somebody since you free. Who is the head of our people? Who is the leader? Where's the king at? Show me the king, because King LeBron James ain't coming to save none of you niggas. Michael Jordan ain't coming. He helping the prison people put your behind in jail. See, none of them people coming to save y'all. Only Yahweh Shah. Now what was that? Let's get some on this soul, because it was clear that the Israelites were sold to the nations. Oh, there we go. I just spoke it right up where the Lord gave it to me. Baruch. This in either 3. Well, this is another part of it. Let me get 3 and 8. Then I'll go to that other one. It say, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. That captivity stands for being captured, being in slavery, being under somebody, in control. It says, where you have scattered us. See? Not just any place, you've been scattered. Say, for a reproach and a curse to be subject to payments. That's why you got a light bill, you got a water bill, you got rent, you got gas bill, you got a phone bill. Anything you using, you got to go pay the so-called white man or the Chinese or whoever, what other nation. None of these bills that you paying is going to a black or no descendant of slave, to be specific. None of these bills that you paying going to any of these people from your nation. They going to the people of the other nation. They got the major corporation. But let me get 2, I think it's 2 and 10. 2 and Because it specifically say we were sold to the nations. That's being specific. It's not being broad. And Baruch, there it is, Baruch 4 and 6. It says, you were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved God to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies. See? So you were sold, you was not selling yourself. That's the greatest lie ever, man. How you gonna tell somebody, we captured you, but you guess what? You really sold yourself. What? So I'm under your thumb and your foot, but I sold myself. And what did me selling myself, what's that's gonna change? I'm still sold to you. See, selling myself ain't got nothing to do with it. Long as I'm sold to you, that's the main problem. See, me being sold to myself, and I don't see my people around here with no businesses and I'm depending on them to make a living. See, I'm not depending on my people to make a living, to keep the water system going, to keep the lights going, to keep the gas going. I don't depend on my people to keep these things going. I'm depending on a whole nother nation. It says, you were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved God to wrath, and you were delivered unto your enemies. So this is what these people can't debunk. The Israelites were sold, and it was a major situation in history. Oh, let me get that Daniel. Still got a little time. Daniel, because they love to say slavery was going on. Yes, the Israelites was in slavery since way back in the book of Judges. They was thrown into slavery under many nations. So they've been being scattered. Since Moses told them that operation, they was being scattered, man. Because they was disobeying the law. They was breaking the law. Now Daniel 9 and 11. It says, yeah, all Israel have transgressed your law, even by departing, that they might not obey your voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon them. And the oath that was written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. Verse 12, and he have confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole earth have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem. That's the whole earth. Nobody on earth went into slavery at no time. Nobody on earth was going into slavery. All these people was Israelites. I don't care if there was a bunch of, they looked like they were Chinese, they still was Israelites. This is what people don't understand. They listening to their oppressor, and he say, oh, many people went into slavery. No, only one set of people was being conquered. That's why he has the title colonizer. You a colonizer because you the one conquering everybody. Everybody else are your slaves, and they are Israelites. That's the dynamic that these people get his philosophy in their mind, and he destroy their whole mind. Right. So Daniel, and they don't attack Daniel 9 and 11. Daniel 9, 11, and 12, they don't even touch it with a 10-foot pole because they know they can't. See, you ain't going to find them trying to debunk Daniel 9 and 11. See, they going to go to talking about, oh, God love everybody. It's not about skin color. See, they ain't going to go precept upon precept and try to debunk what you bringing out because they can't. And let's get that real quick while I'm talking about it. Luke 21 and 15. It says, For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. See, they can't gainsay it, they can't resist it, they can't debunk it. It's undebunkable, if that's a word. You can't, you ain't nothing you can do about it. Because they coming off of just because they got power, they can just say, oh no, whatever. Okay, that power won't be there for long. Now, let's get some more on that being sold. Amos chapter 1, starting at verse 6. It tells you every party that was in cahoots with selling the Israelites. Because there's other nations that's involved, just not just the so-called white man and the so-called red man and the Edomites. Amos 1 and 6, it says, thus says the Lord, and for 3 transgressions of Gaza, see that Gaza goes back to the Arab, the sense, what a Sub-Saharan desert slave trade, or sub-Saharan, that's what it is, sub-Saharan slave trade. It says 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. See, they swear they're going to get forgiveness. That wasn't me, Lord. Forgive me. I had nothing to do with it. See, no, it's not going to happen. It says, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. Who was being delivered up? The Israelites. They was being delivered up. And they wasn't being delivered up by their brethren. Just because they had this, they was able to produce a tan, they was able to. Now he made a covenant with one family. While he making that covenant with the so-called Israelites, you got the Hamites over here. These jokers black as tar. While he making that covenant with the Israelites, you got the Arabs, they black as tar. What are you talking about, man? While he making that covenant with the Israelites, you got the Moabites, they was black. See, all these people had dark skin, man. He did just because you got dark skin don't mean nothing. You got to be under those curses. You got to be under the prophecy, man. But the Arabs, dark-skinned people, was selling the Israelites to the so-called red man. The so-called, what they call them? Cave dweller. See, it was not being sold to no freaking themselves. What in the world? When have we seen our people putting us in slavery? None of our people have no power over us, man. Them Negroes, they can be haters. They can hate on us, but that's all they gonna do. Jump down to verse 9. This is the main one that they try to associate with us and say, no, you were selling yourselves. It was a bunch of darkies selling you too. Verse 9, he says, thus says the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus. That Tyrus go back to a Hamite, a son of Ham. It says, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. So he not going, ain't no forgiveness, ain't no Messiah coming for them to forgive them for anything, man. He say, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because you delivered up the whole captivity to Edom. See, the whole nation of Edom went on a slave ship, man. 300 years, people going on slave ship, slave ship, slave ship, slave ship. These people don't even live 300 years, man. The most you're going to live, especially back then, the most you're going to live is 70 to 80 years. So for 300 plus years, you got slave ships leaving the coast of Africa, coming over here, going to Jamaica, going to Antigua, where my people's from, going to Cuba, going to Puerto Rico, going to Spain. 300 years worth of people being transported. That's a nation being transported. That's just not a small group of people saying, oh, a bunch of dark people, I'm going to grab them and go over here and make some money off of them. No, it's bigger than that. Way bigger than that. He said because they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. 500 people on a chain. 300 people chained up, walking through the situation. Because they was going to be sold. They was going to make some money off that situation. They wasn't delivering them up to Edom just for the heck of it. No, man. We finna make some money. We finna sell them and make some money. Now, Isaiah went through the same situation. Let's see, was it Isaiah 20? Oh yeah, Isaiah 20 and 3. This is how they were selling them. When you go into the door of no return, over there on the west coast of Africa, around Benin or whatever they call it, you had 3 or 4 door of no return. That's what they called them. Now, Isaiah 20 talks about it on how Isaiah was being transported. This is how they were transporting the rest of the Israelites, because this is a part of the curse, yokes of iron around their neck. I'm going to just read verse 4. It says, so shall the king of Assyria lead away Egyptians prisoners and the Ethiopian captives, young and old, naked and barefoot, even with their buttocks uncovered, to the shame of Egypt. So these Egyptians and these Ethiopians, that's some Israelite foreigners. Look at verse 2. It said, at the same time spake the Lord that by Isaiah the son of Amos. So what we was just at in Amos. So Amos, he was telling it off the rip. These people finna be sold, man. He said, saying, go and loose the sackcloth from off your loins and put off your shoe from your foot. And he did so, walking naked and barefoot. See, that was 300 slaves being transported to the door of no return because they was finna be sold to their enemies across the Atlantic Ocean. 300. They put them in this little dungeon that the Portuguese set up. Because first the Portuguese put a church on the island or by the water. Then after they put the church there, they put a little shack where they would keep these 300 people that was chained up, naked and barefoot. So when the ship came, they said this was gonna be a door of no return. Once you got on this ship, you weren't coming back here. Once you got on this ship, you was gonna stay over there. See, once you got on this ship, it was a done dollar. If you come back over here, that's gonna be a miracle. Because guess what? You're gonna be in the cotton field, you're gonna be in the tobacco field, or you're gonna be in Walmart working the sun up to sun down. Either field you wanna pick, that's what it's gonna be. You're not coming back over here. And when they go back over there, most of them get killed. See, because they don't supposed to go back over there. That's not what they're supposed to do. So, let me get, is it Acts? No. Yeah, Apostle Paul certified the situation. Acts 26. Let's see what it was, 7? Because that slavery, that captivity, that punishment was also a promise. See, your parents used to say, you better believe this is a promise. I promise you I'm going to kick your behind. See, that's a punishment is a promise also. So look at what Paul said. Acts 26 and 7. He said, unto which promise of our 12 tribes, instantly serving God day and night, hope to come. See, Apostle Paul certified everything that was written in the law of Moses. Oh, let me go up a verse. He said in verse 6, he said, now I stand and am judged for the hope of the promise made of God unto our fathers. See, he wasn't making them promises to everybody. If you disobey me, I'm going to throw you on a slave ship. No, that wasn't for everybody, man. And that's why he named specifically the 12 tribes. See, because at first he said the fathers, they might have got that misconstrued or misunderstood. He said, hold on, let me tell y'all who it's for. The 12 tribes. That's who it's for. It's not for all these people. And most of these people are getting confused because they've been rejecting the truth for a long time. Since, 144 AD, they was coming out with this God love everybody. Apostle Paul is the only one you need to listen to. See, Apostle Paul was the only apostle of so-called the Messiah. He the only one set the regulation. Forget what he said. Let's just go with Apostle Paul. He the only one we need to listen to. He the only one that know what was going on. They've been doing that 144 AD. So this ain't nothing new, man. There's nothing new that they pushing the wrong agenda. Now let's get Jeremiah, because that's another pretty much dagger. And we talking about that great evil that he said in Daniel 9 and 11, I think. He talked about this in Jeremiah 25:29. He said, lo, I began to bring evil on the city which is called by my name. Now that evil is that transatlantic slave trade, the greatest and the biggest slavery operation in the history of mankind. See, he said, I began to bring evil on the city which I call by my name, and should you be utterly unpunished? So I put millions of people into slavery, and y'all think y'all gonna get away with not going through what they went through. No, you gonna have to go through what they went through. He said, you shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, says the Lord of hosts. See, all the inhabitants of the earth was going to have to feel the fire, was going to have to feel the wrath of God. See, they weren't going to get away, they over there suffering, but that's them. You know, they ain't got nothing to do with me. They catching hell over there. Okay, that's them. They ain't got nothing to do with me. That's the attitude of most people. So he already knew that. But he letting them know, you not getting away, man. You gonna be sold. Just like I was selling these blacks, Hispanic, Native American, you gonna be sold too. It's not just gonna be them. They just they forefathers messed up and they went and got sold, and that's the end of the story. No. Every wicked person gonna get punished, man. Now, let's get it. Joel. We was talking about the Israelites. Now we talking about who else finna get sold. It says in verse 8, because in verse 6 it talks about the Grecians or the Edomites selling the Israelites. Look at verse 8. He said, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans. So it's going to be another slave trade. That first slave trade, that was just one, but he got another one coming after that. It wasn't just going to be one great slave trade. No, it was going to be two great slave trades. It says, Joel 3 and 8, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans. Now the Sabaeans is the Hamites. They are the other nations that was around. So the children of Judah, meaning the descendants of slaves here in Babylon, and the small number of them that scattered, they gonna go to selling the so-called white man and these other nations to the Hamites. The Hamites is going to be the taskmaster. See, we're going to use them as a taskmaster. Since they want to sell us to all these people, we're going to use them to sell the people. And they're going to have to they're going to have to deal with our slaves. We're not going to be dealing with no slaves. See, we're going to deal with them when we want to deal with them. That's how it's going to be. These dang on Africans going to have to deal with them. We not dealing with no slaves. We might pop up on the scene for punishment and tell them how to punish them, but we not dealing with a bunch of slaves, man. We gonna have our slaves dealing with the slaves, and that's what the slave master did also. He had overseers. He wasn't out there always in the cotton field fussing and arguing with the slaves. He'll send his taskmaster, his overseer out there. You go out there and tell them slaves to hurry up with this cotton. Tell them slaves to hurry up with this tobacco. We trying to get this money, man. Hurry up and pick this darn crop so I can make my money. Get a whip in your hand and start whipping them. Beat their back in so they can hurry up and give me my money. See, that's how we gonna have the Africans. They gonna be our slaves to take care of our other slaves. And see, this when you got this ancient scroll talking about people being sold, you can't eliminate that. And that's what this dude tried to do back in 144 AD. He tried to eliminate the nation of Israel because the nation of Israel was all about being sold to the nations and then turning the thing around and selling the nation. So he trying to get out of that situation. Heck no, man. He came to save everybody. Paul ain't talking about no God that's going to punish people and bring vengeance and recompense upon people. Paul he wasn't talking about that. See, he was ready to get rid of it. And everybody had to go against him because you talking about something that's certified, man. The New Testament ain't even got that many books. The majority of the books is in the Old Testament. So how in the world you gonna just eliminate the whole Old Testament just because it's saying that you're behind going into slavery? See, that's what it was all about. The Gentiles cannot be saved. And man, that must be a whole nother God in the Old Testament. Get rid of that crap. See, they was trying to do that when they first read the book. Now let's get some on this soul. Oh, here it is. Isaiah 42:22. And now when you robbing something, you're not robbing it just for fun. When you spoiling something, you're not spoiling it for fun. It's Isaiah 42:22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They for a prey and none deliver it, for a spoil and none say restore. What is they restoring? If you a slave, man, you ain't got nothing. You living a life of poverty. See, a slave ain't really got no power of nothing, man. Anything they got can be repossessed or